Well, hello everybody. Welcome to Geoff's baking blog. Today I'm going to make some raisin and chocolate chip cookies. So I want these to be crispy on the outside but chewy on the inside, and that's why I've chosen raisins, because they're nice and chewy as well. I had considered, I love hazelnuts, and I had considered putting chopped hazelnuts in, but I think that would affect the texture in a way that I didn't want. They would still be very good, I'm sure, but it would give them a crunch on the inside, and I want these to be nice and chewy. It's quite a straightforward recipe. It does take a bit of time because you have to shape the cookie dough into balls and then chill it for an hour. But other than that, it's quite straightforward. So we'll go on to the ingredients. And I have 185 grams, which is 1 1/4 cups of plain flour. That's on the basis of 150 grams per cup. I have 240 grams of dark chocolate chips, and that works out at about 1 1/2 cups. And I'm using chocolate chips as opposed to chocolate calettes, which I also have, because the calettes will melt as they cook, whereas the chocolate chips tend to, they've been produced in such a way that they tend to hold their shape. I have 113 grams, 1 stick of butter, which is at room temperature, and I can see that it's actually very soft because it's hot in here. I have 1 medium egg, which should be large in the USA. I have 100 grams of caster sugar, which is 1/2 cup, 100 grams of soft light brown sugar, which is also 1/2 cup. And if you don't have either of those, you can swap them out. The light brown sugar helps to make the cookies that little bit more chewy, but if you don't have it, you can use all caster sugar or all granulated sugar. I have 100 grams, which is 2/3 of a cup, of raisins. I have 1 tablespoon, 7 grams of corn flour. I have 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda. I have 1/2 teaspoon of salt, and I have 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. So that's all the ingredients, and the first thing I'm going to do is to put my corn flour and my baking soda and the salt into the flour. And the corn flour tends to stick if it's left around, but that would be fine. And then I'm going to just use a whisk to mix that in. I'm going to sift that flour later anyway, so then I'll set that to one side. And now I'm going to cream the butter and the sugar together. And you can do this by hand with a spatula, but I'm going to do it with my hand mixer because I find it that much easier. And as you can see, this butter has got very, very soft, and it's actually only been out of the fridge for 30 minutes. That's how warm it is in here today. So we'll just cream this together. And that's good enough. So then I'm going to put my vanilla extract in and my egg, and I'm going to whisk those and get those combined as well. That's good enough. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to sift my flour mixture onto the top of that, and that's just to make sure there's no lumps in anything. That's good. So I'm going to just mix that until it's combined on a slow speed. So that's good. And then I'm going to put in the chocolate chips and the raisins, and I'm going to mix it again just so that everything is combined. And as you can see, that's combined quite nicely. So I'm just going to scrape off a little bit of this cookie batter. I'm just going to stir this around and turn it over so that any mixture on the bottom that doesn't have any of the chocolate chips or the raisins gets incorporated with everything else. And then I'm going to shape this dough into 24 balls, which are about 30 millilitres, 2 tablespoons in volume, which is about 36 grams each, if my calculations are correct. So I've estimated that this little ice cream scoop is level is 2 tablespoons, so I'm going to use that as my guide. And then I'm going to form that into a ball and put it on a baking tray that's lined with parchment paper. And I'm going to do that 24 times because we're then going to chill this in the fridge for an hour. So there I have the 24 balls of dough, and I'm not going to bake them all on this tray obviously, but I'm going to put this tray into the fridge and I'm going to chill it for at least an hour. I want them to go nice and firm. Then I will be able to spread them out on other baking trays and bake them in the oven. So when I come back, I will have my oven preheating at 160 Celsius. That's 140 Celsius with a fan, 325 Fahrenheit, and we'll put these onto the baking trays and we'll bake them for about 14 to 17, 18 minutes. But I'll tell you that when I come back. So it's been just over an hour since I chilled or started to chill the balls of cookie dough, and so my oven is preheated to 160 Celsius, 140 Celsius with a fan, 325 Fahrenheit, and I've actually put 12 of the balls onto 2 baking trays lined with parchment paper, and I'm leaving a good gap. You needed to leave at least 3 inches between them because they're going to spread. That's one of the reasons for chilling them, is to eliminate them going completely flat or completely spread and cover the whole pan. So I'm going to bake those for between 14 and 18 minutes until the edges just start to brown. And when the edges start to brown, I'm going to take them out of the oven and leave them on the baking tray for 10 minutes. Then I'll transfer them onto a wire rack and cook the remainder, and then I'll come back and show you the results. I baked the raisin chocolate chip cookies for 16 minutes and they just started to brown around the edges, so I took them out and let them cool down. I actually had to bake mine in 2 batches, but they've cooled down, or the first batch certainly has cooled down. So this is what they look like, and they bake quite nicely. So they're crispy on the outside and they should be chewy on the inside. So I'll have a taste of one. That's exactly right. You get a crisp crunch on the outside, and then the inside is nice and chewy and rich with chocolate, and then you get the chewiness and the fruitiness of the raisins as well. This is very, very good, this recipe. So I hope you've enjoyed it. I just want to mention that I've introduced something new on the videos. So below this video is the description, and if you look at the whole description, you'll see time codes and chapters, so that I can actually put in a time and then a chapter, and if you click on that time it will take you to that part of the video straight away. So for instance, if you had forgotten what the temperature of the oven should be, if you click on the time next to preheat oven, it will jump straight to there and you'll see me saying what the temperature of the oven should be. And I've done that for this video, and I've done it for the previous 10 or 11, and I'm gradually going to work my way backwards and put it in for other videos as well. So that's going to be it for this recipe. I hope you've enjoyed it, and if you have, please give me the thumbs up below the video and click to subscribe to my YouTube channel. In the top right hand corner of the screen there will be an eye that you can click on, and that will take you to this recipe, and I'll put a link for it below the video as well. And I'll be back with another recipe in the very near future. So until then, happy baking.